Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing this morning? Fantastic. Welcome to the Center of Unity. We are thrilled that you are here this morning. It is a beautiful, beautiful spring morning. The sun is out, and I am aware that God is here. Amen? Amen. I am aware that God is here. The divine presence is always among us, in us, and throughout all creation. This morning, I was waking up and I could hear the birds outside my window, which is really annoying when you have about 10 minutes more to sleep and they're doing that Cinderella thing right outside the window. But other than that, creation is amazing and God is with us. And I see trees and the fresh green leaves and everything's in bloom and the squirrels, they're running all over everything. And through creation, we become very aware of the generous, creative presence that exists in all things. So this morning when we sing, Bob, let's go ahead and get started here. Byron, come on up and join us. Byron Holder's here with us this morning. He's gonna be working with us all morning. We're excited to have him. This morning as we sing, let us try to recognize the unimaginable greatness of God. And let us see and know in our spirit the divine is in me and it's in you. Psalms 145 says, "Will exalt you, O God, I will bless your name forever and ever. Great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. His greatness is unfathomable. The splendor of the King, clothed in majesty. Let all the earth rejoice. Let all the earth rejoice. He wraps himself in light, and darkness tries to hide, and trembles at his voice, and trembles at his voice. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God, and all will see how great is our God. And age to age he stands, and time is in his hands, beginning and the end, beginning and the end. The Godhead three in one, the Father, Spirit, and Son. He's the Lion and the Lamb, the Lion and the Lamb. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. Name above all names, worthy of all praise. My heart will sing how great is our God. Great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. One more time. How great is our God. How great is our God. Sing with me, how great is our God. And all will see how great is our God. All right.
Good morning, everyone. Whether you're here in person, so wonderful to see all of your beautiful faces, albeit masked. And if you're joining us virtually, we're grateful you're here today. I just want to remind you that today is a brand new baby day, as Mary Morrissey liked to say, one that has never been lived before. I know for many of us, this past year has seemed in many ways like we've been living the same day over and over and over again, primarily inside of our houses. And as you join with me today, I invite you to allow yourself to remember that this is a new day. This is a day that you have never lived before, and to choose this new day as one where you will do something that you have not done in quite some time. I have this beautiful idea with my granddaughter, who unfortunately is under the weather today, that we were going to go out and go on the swing sets. And I was going to swing for the first time in a long time because she just exudes that joy and that really that perspective that each day is truly for her a brand new day, one which she has never experienced before. Or perhaps it's to call a friend that you haven't spoken to in a long time, or doing that one thing you've been saying you're going to do for a while and choose this is the day that it gets done. It is a beautiful thing when we can live each new day as if it is a day like we've never lived before. So join with me as we take a moment and we center ourselves into this experience, as we open our minds and our hearts, knowing that we are here to receive something we have never received before. Perhaps it will come in the message or during the meditation, or the music will move you to a place that you have not experienced up until this moment. This is our opportunity as we welcome in and recognize that divine presence that's in and through all of creation and that is in and through us. For each day for God, it is a new day. And that presence invites us to live each day, each precious moment, from that place of love, enthusiasm, and joy. We are grateful for this opportunity to be together, to grow, to discover, and to inspire one another to live like we've never lived before. It is in the name and after the nature of that divine presence everywhere that we allow this, that we declare it to be true, and say amen.
Good morning, everyone. We have core values at Center of Unity that support our mission and vision. One of these is prosperous or prosperity. If one looks at Mr. Webster's definition, you find that prosperous means auspicious and enjoying vigorous and healthy growth. Are you prosperous? Is this community prosperous? If all thoughts of money, call them good or bad, were to disappear and you looked again, would this community be prosperous? I have looked and I say yes. Prosperity of the soul supports our mission and vision. The second principle of unity states that the divinity is within all humankind. Jesus was not the exception, rather the example. For some, if not most people, their first exposure to this principle either locks you right in or starts your questioning. Some have trouble with the Jesus reference and what it possibly portends. If you find yourself troubled by the words or wording in this principle, break it down to what it actually says. Human beings are divine at their core and therefore inherently good. Concerns about the teachings we received when we were younger simply fade away when we spend a moment with this principle. The divine spark of the Christ mind is within you and with you wherever you go. Please call upon it. Thank you. Shazam. If it was better than this, it would have to be recorded. Daily word. The daily word for today is pray for others. With mind and heart, I know the truth for each person I hold in prayer. A friend, someone says, knows the truth for you until you can know it for yourself. Praying for friends, family members, and those I haven't met, I center my awareness in the truth that for each one for whom I pray is a living expression of God, just as I am. Letting go of fear, I release thoughts of lack, illness, disharmony, or any limitation. I see each person for whom I pray abundantly blessed. I see each one warmed and comforted by divine love that lifts their hearts and brings harmony to their relationships. I affirm their abundant living, guided by divine love, wisdom, and understanding. I see each life unfolding in perfect divine order, enjoying security, health, and joy. And the Bible verse is from 1 Corinthians 14:15. I will pray with the Spirit, but I will pray with the mind also. I will sing praise with the Spirit, but I will sing praise with the mind also. Thank you.
One power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it everywhere and every day. One power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth, as simple as the love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. But different is only dangerous when we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We remember when we close our eyes to see that such differences were never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, Hashem or heaven's door. It's Mohammed, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? Whatever name you give it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power, one power, one power, one power. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness. It's the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face. It's the birthright of a nation. It's the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger we abandon for the love that is most deep. It's one power, one power, one power. What we are is one power. Oh, it's the power of the love that lives forever and you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
I was almost feeling like I was having a flashback to years gone by. And there is one power, and yet there is what we're exploring over these next several weeks, 12 and 8 sparks of that divine power that express in different ways through us. Faith and strength, the power to move mountains, the power to move through whatever obstacles show up in our lives. As we are continuing our series on Adventures in Resilience, we are exploring these 12 and 8 powers that, when activated in us, allow us to step into life in more powerful ways. We each are born with every spiritual ability to fully be and express God's light and love in the world. Do you believe that? We are each, regardless of whether you're sitting in this particular sanctuary or you're out there in the world with a totally different faith belief system. We each have these spiritual faculties that, when we're aware of them, when we put our attention on them, when we actively align our minds and our hearts to express them, we have the ability to fully be God's light and love in the world. These powers are not something we can touch and feel and be able to interact with necessarily through our human senses. They are invisible. They are vibratory. They are non-physical energies, and they remain latent until they are recognized and activated. Some of these powers we have learned how to tap into, albeit unconsciously, and use them in the physical realm, and yet there's so much more potential when they are developed as our spiritual capacities, as our abilities to use and be and do in the world. The expression of these spiritual abilities is based on the intelligence behind it. By itself, each ability is neutral. They can be called into service for help or for harm, to bless or to curse. And it's ours to determine how we use these abilities and to use them for the highest service, for our own spiritual awakening. We must train, or in some cases even retrain, how we think about them, our understanding of them, and how we put them into use. So today we are exploring the innate powers of faith and strength. In Hebrews 11, and I'm sure you've heard it many times, but I want you to hear it again as if for the first time, because remember, this is a brand new baby day. That faith is the assurance of things hoped for and the conviction of things not yet seen. Charles Fillmore, our co-founder and the visionary of these 12 powers, interprets this scripture further by saying, faith is the perceiving power of the mind. It's what we are able to perceive, linked with our innate power to shape substance. And substance is just, it's that invisible stuff that we eventually can make into form. It is the spiritual assurance and the power to do the seemingly impossible. It is a deep inner knowing that which is sought for, that which we desire, is already ours in spirit, waiting for us to claim it. And perception is a really important part of our faith ability, of our faith power. And it's developed through our awareness, through our interpretation of who we are, who and what this world is that we inhabit, and the beliefs and observations that we hold about the world. That is what helps shape and bring into substance our experience. You know, I was recently watching a PBS series on Frontline about Ruby Ridge. And even though I was a young adult when this was happening, or maybe a middle-aged adult, I never paid that much attention to it. I was busy with life, and I didn't really even watch the news much back in that period of my life. And I discovered that the family at the center of this drama felt certain that Jesus would be returning any day to destroy the earth and save the chosen ones, based on their little understanding and their deep-seated faith in this belief around the book of Revelation. They were certain that the time was ripe for God's final judgment. They pointed to the rising crime rates, the diminishment of family values, the social problems, terrorists, volatile weather. All of this was proof that most of its people were unworthy of salvation and would soon be visited with the wrath of God. And they wanted to keep themselves safe and ready to receive this new earth, this new place in heaven. As I listened to their beliefs, and even in more recent years, I've heard these same beliefs through social media, QAnon, that, you know, this was happening again, that the end days were coming any day now, I realized how different my own perception of life is. That I was witnessing a world and a humanity that was increasingly conscientious with a rising consciousness of goodness. That was the world I saw, so vastly different than the way other people perceive it. And it is because of my own spiritual faith that I could see it differently, that allowed me to move past appearances, the appearances of lack, of limitation, of difficulty, of challenge in the physical world, and see God's love in the midst of all of it. That's the power of perception. If we believe, and we truly do believe, that God is infinite good, is infinite love, and is everywhere present, that we've just been singing about and affirming this morning, then we each are also called to trust, to have faith that good and love are fully present, even when we can't see it with our physical eyes, when we can't experience it always in our interactions with others. Faith requires conviction. It is necessary in order for us to be able to stick with what we know and call it forth with greater love, with more peace, to bring the light into the darkness. When Charles Fillmore developed these 12 spiritual powers, he assigned a disciple to each one, feeling that the disciples that Jesus called, those original 12 apostles, that represented these different aspects within us. So Simon Peter is the apostle that represents faith. Jesus declares in Matthew 18 that Peter is the rock that he will build his church upon, that he will build this new way of understanding and experiencing God upon. And yet we also see Peter waver at times during this unfolding story. His faith becomes shaky when he finds himself walking on water, and his human mind tells him that's not possible, and he begins to sink. His faith was overcome with fear when he denied Jesus 3 times during these very difficult end days. Fear for his own life. And yet, the resurrection, when Jesus reappeared and instructed those 12 chosen ones, Peter is transformed once again, becoming immovable in his faith and immovable as a leader of this new teaching. So it is with our own faith, which, if we allow it to be, becomes that foundation of our own spiritual beings. At times, it may waver. It may get redirected when fear rises up in us. And yet, as we grow in practiced faith, it becomes more and more immovable by outer appearances. Our second spiritual faculty that we're exploring this morning is strength. And strength is represented by the Apostle Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. So they are close in their connection. And these 2 brothers were the first to be called by Jesus into this new ministry, into this new way of sharing God's truth with people. And so these powers are linked together. They are both foundational powers, critical in shaping our human and spiritual journey. I wanted to share a short video with you about strength that Unity Worldwide created.
There is strength in me. My mind is strong. It is positive. It is calm. There is strength in me. My body is vigorous, powerful. There is strength of purpose in me. Strength of faith. Strength that helps me stand firm. My God-given strength enables me to be my best self. Strength in me establishes right values. It keeps me reaching for higher goals. Strength makes it possible for me to be gentle with others. God-given strength is in all people. I look for it and call it forth with faith.
Powerful combination of faith and strength that allows us to do the things that we thought perhaps we couldn't otherwise do. The author in our series, based on the book Adventures in Resilience, writes this. She said, "Spiritual strength is a power that can trump fear and empower you to take right action in the face of loss, of anger, of rejection, of fear itself, disappointment, delay, and disapproval. Because all of those things, at least at some point, will be part of our life experience. It partners with faith to sustain us on our odyssey to discover and live from the kingdom of heaven within us. It is a spiritual muscle, and when fully activated, it becomes our spiritual backbone. Strength is our innate ability through which we are able to be resilient, that we can endure and persist and persevere. There was a study done of resilience at work. This was specifically in the corporate world. It was done by Maddie and Koshoba. I may not be saying that name exactly right. But it was done in 1986, and it tracked 450 employees at the Illinois Bell Telephone Company. Remember when there used to be all these different Bell divisions across the United States? And this happened during the breakup of AT&T. So it happened over several years. They were breaking up this monopoly. And in 1 year, in the Illinois Bell Telephone Company, the workforce was halved. And job descriptions and chains of command changed regularly. It was in a place of chaos. And as they studied these 450 individuals, they found that 1/3 of the people excelled in the midst of all of this. They excelled in performance, they excelled in morale, and they excelled in health. Yet 2/3 fell apart, suffering anxiety, depression, high blood pressure, and a number of other physical stresses in their lives. Those who excelled chose to stay involved rather than to isolate themselves. They tried to do their best to influence the outcomes rather than feel helpless. And they chose to learn from their experience rather than feeling threatened by it. Not easy to do. And instead of blaming themselves or blaming the company for those who were fired, they saw a broader perspective. They were able to see in a different way that these changes were due to forces beyond their bosses or perhaps even the company's control, and they were able to maintain faith that things would turn around, whether it was within the company that they had been employed or some new place, something better. And so what this study can help inform us is how important faith and strength are to our ability to be resilient in the times of challenge and change. I like to think of these qualities like a willow tree. If you've ever seen a willow tree, they're beautiful. They have long, lovely, flowing branches that tend to arch over whatever is underneath them. And their roots are remarkable for their toughness, for their size, and for their tenacity to live. They're difficult to die off. And yet the tree that grows from these very large, strong roots has an abundant watery bark sap that allows them to be soft and pliant and bend and flow as the winds change and blow. And that is what faith and strength can be for each of us. They can give us that solid, foundational, deep root system, and yet also allow us to be flexible and pliant and movable when things change around us. This kind of strength manifests in us. We see it in our ability to stay centered and calm. I wasn't that way this morning, but it does when you're really activating it. We were having all kinds of technical difficulties this morning. And boy, that's a way to get your adrenaline flowing as you're getting ready to start service. And yet, when we can breathe and remember that, it allows us to be flexible and to move. And we would have moved, we would have been flexible in how we presented it, certainly here in the sanctuary, but we really want those who are joining us virtually to have a good experience too. Faith and strength, powers that support us to move the mountains of life's challenges. This is what we are seeking to activate in our daily lives. And so I invite you to just join with me. We're going to move for a time into meditation as we take these next few minutes to really focus on and activate these innate powers within us. As we activate them and energize them, we enliven them to become a part of our everyday, our every moment experience. So as you just take a moment to become aware of your body as it is supported by the chair that you're sitting in, feeling your feet on the ground, aware of the hands in your lap. If you notice that they're in a fist, just let them gently unfurl and become aware of your breath as it moves in and out of your being. And as you just breathe naturally, bring your attention into your heart space, that place where we are divinely connected with one another, with God, with all of life. Even become aware of your heart as it rhythmically beats and moves that life-giving energy of blood throughout your body. And now I invite you to focus your attention on the center of your forehead, moving inward just a little at the site of the pineal gland, located between the two hemispheres of your brain. And if that's not helpful to you, just focus on the center of your head. And imagine with your inner vision a tiny royal blue light in that area. As you look for it, you begin to see it glow ever so faintly. And as you breathe into this area and keep your attention focused there, the light grows brighter. It begins to expand as it fills your entire head space. And with every breath, expands even further until your entire being is bathed in a royal blue light. As you infuse and activate this power of faith, imagine that your deepest desires and your fondest dreams are also now being moved, being made alive with this royal blue light of divine faith. Now I invite you to shift your attention to your backbone, to the bottom of your spine. And in your mind's eye, see the light green light of divine strength glowing there. Perhaps it's faint or almost imperceivable, but as you continue to keep your focus there, as you breathe into this area, this light begins to pulse up and down your spine. And with your next breath, it expands throughout your body. It moves even beyond the physical space of your body into the room. Your mind clears, allowing your right next steps in fulfilling your dreams and desires, and infusing you with the courage to say yes. Silently affirm, I know what I need to do, and I have the power to do it. I know what I need to do, and I have the power to do it. I know what I need to do, and I have the power to do it. And begin to bring your awareness back now to this time and to this space, knowing that you continue to glow with this fusion of royal blue and light green energy. Aware once again of your body, your feet on the floor, your hands in your lap. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. You know, as I was thinking about this series yesterday morning in my quiet meditative time and thinking about what my intention was and what I wanted to bring to this community and to all who were watching, I remembered that when I did this series several years ago, I decided to focus on something that I wanted to accomplish by activating these 12 powers within me. I wanted a very specific goal that I would focus activating these powers around. At the beginning of that year, I had made a decision to join a gym, and with a buddy, we got a trainer so that we could build our muscles and get into shape. And I also, around the same time, booked a dream cruise for my husband and I to Italy. And I was sitting one night looking at all the different excursions, dreaming, planning, and I was really excited about being able to see and experience the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which was going to be one of our stops. And as I was reading more about it, I read that you could climb to the top and see the beautiful landscape perspective from the very top of the tower. And then I read a little further, and it was 300 steps to the top. And I have to tell you that in that moment, my thought was, there is no way that you're going to be able to climb up 300 steps. Not with your smoker lungs and your out-of-shape body. That ain't happening. And it was a true statement at the time, and I really didn't like it. There was a part of me that says, I don't want to ever not be able to do anything I want to do because of some limitation. So this all sort of congealed around the same time, and as I began the series, I made the courageous step to share my quest to accomplish being able to climb up the 300 steps to the Tower of Pisa in the 7 months. Once the cruise was 7 months out, so I had 7 months ahead of me to get myself to that place. I'll tell you, there's nothing like a few hundred accountability partners to keep you on task, and so I highly recommend that if you have a hard time, tell some people you're going to do it, and then let them continue to support and encourage you when those months tick by and you're not so enthusiastic about it anymore. Because I'll tell you, the first week, and I did tell my trainer too, so she put me on what came known to me as the Stairway to Hell. Have you ever seen those in gyms? They're just stairs that you just climb and never go anywhere. And the first time we did it, I think I got to about 30 steps, and I thought I was just going to fall off the thing. I was like, you have to stop. I can't breathe. And yet, day after day, week after week, I would climb the steps. And by the time I got to visiting Italy, I did climb the 300 steps, had a picture to show it, and celebrated with all of my community. But each week I looked at how can I use these powers to support me in achieving this goal that I wanted to do. So, my invitation to you as we begin this series is to pick something. You don't have to out yourself to the whole community, but tell someone that you would like to focus your spiritual powers on over the next several weeks as we go through this. As I thought about this Saturday morning, I wasn't sure what that was going to be for me. And it showed up this morning as I was trying to figure out what to wear. And I looked in my closet at all these beautiful clothes that I have that no longer fit me because I stopped doing the stair climber a couple of years ago and other physical activity, and especially over this past year where I did next to nothing. And as a result, I have managed to welcome back 20 pounds. So my goal in all of this is to, over this series and perhaps a little bit beyond, I don't know what that exact time frame is going to be, to lose the 20 pounds. So I'm outing myself once again. You will see if and hopefully pray and support me in achieving this goal. And I know that as we use these, I have seen miraculous and amazing things unfold. So I encourage you to decide whatever it is for you. It doesn't even have to be around the physical. It may be a job that you've been looking for that you're going to put more extensive energy into. It may be shifting your daily activities to include something new. Whatever it is, choose that. And then as you work with these powers each week, as you focus on them, focus them around that particular idea. Every day this week, take a small, courageous step in that direction. Because as Martin Luther King reminds us, faith is taking the first step, even when you don't see the whole staircase. Let's do it together.
Oh Lord, I want to thank you for the healing deep inside. Oh Lord, I was lonely. You remembered how I cried. I tried to travel my own road to weather my own separate storm. You came to steady my stumbling, to show me a humbling way of living in the light of a brand new day. I'll rise up, now I know that I can. Yes, I'll rise up and show the world that I can. When I fell down on my knees, your spirit came down and set me free. And now I'll rise up and help the world to believe. Oh Lord, in the stillness I keep listening for your voice. Oh Lord, in the stillness you give me reasons to rejoice. Even when times are too trying and I'm denying who you are, you love me ever so faithful, and I am so grateful now. 'Cause you're the reason for the song I sing. I'll rise up, now I know that I can. Yes, I'll rise up and show the world who I am. When I fell down on my knees, Your spirit came down and set me free. And now I'll rise up and help the world to believe. I tried to travel my own road, to weather my own separate storm. You came to steady my stumbling, and show me a humbling way of living in the light of a brand new day. I'll rise up, and now I know that I can. Yes, I'll rise up and show the world who I am. When I fell down on my knees, your spirit came down and set me free. And now I'll rise up and help the world to believe. And now I'll rise up and help the world to believe.
That's a good David Alt song. I don't know if you remember, he used to come and sing here every now and then. So as we prepare to share our tithes, our gifts, our love offerings with Center of Unity, I pray that you do share whatever gifts you're doing today, or feel that energy of the gifts that you give electronically from that place of gratitude, of joy, of good that continually flows through your lives and continually flows through the life of Center of Unity. We are so grateful for all the ways that we continue to be supported, that allow us to continue to upgrade. You'll see here probably in the next month or so, we're looking at how we can upgrade our cameras to give our virtual audience a much more enhanced experience. And we've got some other plans for our sound system. So we just continue to know that all that we need, all that we desire, and all that we choose to share flows in that abundance and through that energy of divine good. After we bless our gifts, the ushers are going to invite you to come up row by row. This is a new way we're doing our offering collection here. And in the large basket, you'll place your gift. And then in the smaller basket, there is a 12-power affirmation for you to receive. We've got all the powers covered in there to bless you this week. And even if you give electronically, or this is not your Sunday to share, we hope that you will come and be in the flow and add your energy to the basket. You can simply place your hand over the basket, or there are little purple cards that say I give. And you can bring one of those to place in the basket, and then of course receive your affirmation. And if you are physically unable to come forward, we do have a basket in the back that you can drop your gift off on your way out. And we're also looking at supporting those remotely. We're looking for an app that you will be able to go to our give page. So if you choose to give there, but you can also receive a random affirmation, the same that you're going to receive here virtually. So we're trying to figure out how to do this wherever people are watching and experiencing this from. And this is a beautiful opportunity to know God's abundance in your life right now. So join with me and let's bless these gifts together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Thank you, Father, Mother, God. See, I'm often, every church says this slightly different, so it's going to take me a little while to get it down for Center of Unity. Bob, bless us with some music.
Bob. Well, if you're watching us for the first time, we're glad you have chosen to join us, and we invite you to visit our website at centerofunity.org, and just to let us know that you're there. And there's a Connect card that you can fill out and send to us, and we'd just love to know that you're out there. If you're visiting with us in person for the first time, there's a card on the back of the pew there that we'd like to have you fill out, just so we also know you've been here. And drop it in the box at the back as you go out the door. And it's just so exciting to see new faces here each week. And so we know that somebody's seeing us out there, and you're coming in person, and we just really love to see the new people here. And we just welcome all of you. So now it's time for us to do our appreciation of those in our community that are just giving a little bit extra and keeping us going. So today we're going to recognize Sharon Crowder, Kenny Green, and Mary Salerno for facilitating our caring circles, and Madeline Lacito for co-facilitating with Mary. We appreciate all the participants in the circles, and just a reminder that it's not too late to sign up. You can still join. So for you to step out and take part, join me in saying, we love you, we bless you, we truly appreciate you, and behold the Christ in you. Namaste. Thank you.
Here's what's coming up at Center of Unity. The Caring Circle small groups will meet for a deeper exploration of the book from our Sunday series, Adventures in Resilience, Ignite the 12 Powers in You to Create a Radiant Life by Reverend Sharon Connors. There are multiple groups available, so visit our website or the COU app to sign up. The book is available in our bookstore. Tuesdays from 6:30 to 8 p.m., Michelle Accardo will host the Compassionate Communication Group on Zoom. We'll practice nonviolent communication and have an opportunity to receive empathy and get clear on feelings, needs, and making doable requests. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Join the book club on Saturday, April 24th at 11 a.m. to discuss the book The Flying Cutterbucks by Kathleen Rogers. This is a powerful story of women returning from the dead, in a manner of speaking. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Be sure to stop by the bookstore to take advantage of the spring clearance sale. There are many items available for the price of a love offering or at a 40% discount. If you shop during the week, you can enjoy an additional 10% discount. New merchandise will be coming soon to enhance your spiritual journey. Adult Sunday School meets after church on Zoom from 12 to 12:45 p.m. Be sure to join us as we discuss today's message. All are welcome to join. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m., Reverend Linda leads a metaphysical Bible interpretation class on Zoom. Each class is self-contained and all are welcome to join. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. Every Sunday, we gather on Zoom before church to say hi and catch up. Come join us from 10 to 10:25 a.m. The Zoom ID is on the screen, or you can access it from our website or the COU app. There are multiple ways you can make a donation to Center of Unity. You can drop your donation off at the church, mail it to our P.O. Box, visit our website, use the COU or Venmo app, or you can text 817-606-8768 and follow the prompts. Your continued support is greatly appreciated.
So appreciate you actually physically being in the service with us, and for you out there, we thank you so much for joining us also. Byron, we want to say thank you so much for joining us. It was let's give Byron a round of applause. Bob, why don't we do our peace song, shall we? earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as our Father, family all are we. Let me walk with my family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And so, as we go into this day, into this week, activating our faith and strength, we go knowing our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Free hugs out in the courtyard. Have a beautiful week, everyone.